MAViSMITH will be hosting their third charity event this year, raising awareness and money for Movember. In 2017 and 2018, the team conducted 24-hour live streams where games were played and good times were had, managing to raise money and awareness for mental health. This year, however, is different. The four lads, George, Matt, Car and Will, are travelling 1,200 miles in a Reliant Robin. For those unsure, a Reliant Robin is an English-produced three-wheeled car. The first line of Reliant Robins were created in 1953 under the name Reliant Regal, later made famous by the hit UK TV show Only Fools and Horses.
On main road, isn't I? What's it like your side, Rodney?
All right, after this red one. No! That red one!
So 66 years later, MAViSMITH will embark on a trip that will not only challenge the lads, but raise much needed awareness for men's mental health. This is Driving Conversations Since Way Back.
So for the first 2 years of our charity events, we actually worked with Calm, which has a very similar sort of idea as Movember, where it's working with mental health and suicide. This year we actually went with Movember. The reason that I chose Movember personally, or the reason that really impacted me, is as a person that in the past has personally felt things such as anxiety and depression, it hits home when it comes to mental health and talking about preventing men dying early, from whether it's from a mental issue and it's suicide, or if it's from a health issue and men are too scared to, for example, one of Movember's causes to check your balls. If men are too scared to check their balls or go to the doctor when they find a lump on anywhere in their body, it's about raising that awareness that we're all the same. It's a scary thing, but we need to stop men dying early, and things such as prostate cancer. It's all Movember's cause is very much so online with my own. Being a young male in that exact demographic, and as I said, experiencing things like that before myself.
Yeah, so like one of the main reasons why I kind of campaigned for Movember, and one of the reasons why I'm glad that we're working with them, is because mental health is such a big thing at the moment, and it's getting a lot of traction and people are speaking about it a lot more. But there's always, people need to carry on and keep on kind of talking about it, and the people that haven't have got to start, because it's just getting to the point now where it's every week there's something else has happened with direct relation. So people like Movember and Calm have both been doing their part, and Movember, as soon as we met them, we knew that they were the good people that we wanted to work for and kind of raise awareness and money for them as well.
Most of you know me for this. And this Movember,
And we're here to support Movember Foundation, whose mission is to raise the awareness of the men's health crisis.
Hey, it's Tom here at Movember HQ in London. You probably know Movember from the millions of fierce and sometimes not so fierce moustaches sprouting up around the world every November. What you probably don't know is that the Movember Foundation is the leading charity changing the face of men's health across the world. We're addressing some of the biggest health issues faced by men: prostate cancer, testicular cancer, mental health and suicide prevention. Men are dying an average of 6 years younger than women for reasons largely preventable. Globally, a man is dying by suicide every minute of every single day. Prostate cancer is killing 45 men every hour in the UK alone. Testicular cancer strikes early. It's the most common cancer in men under 40. We know what's working for men and how to find and fund the most innovative research to have both a global and local impact. We're independent of government funding, so we can challenge the status quo and invest quicker in what's working. In 15 years, we've funded more than 1,200 men's health projects around the world. And by 2030, we'll reduce the number of men dying prematurely by 25%, but we need the help of everyone out there. So we got introduced to the MAViSMITH guys a few months back, and they came in and told me what they were planning to do to raise funds and start conversations by driving a Robin Reliant of all cars around the UK. I mean, of course, I thought this idea was completely ridiculous, but I loved it. It's often not easy starting conversations that matter. Some grow moustaches, some drive barely roadworthy cars across the country. Lads, everyone here at Movember HQ is wishing you the best of luck on your journey. We hope you start thousands of conversations, and we really hope the car makes the journey in one piece.
So we actually came up with the idea about May last year, to go on a road trip with a group of our friends, 2 cars, go up and just have a good time. And then we kind of decided that we should incorporate it into a charity event. That was after the charity event that we did last year, the 24-hour charity stream. So when we decided to do that, things started to then kind of come into place. We started planning. We were originally going to do it with a streamer that we met called Terry, and you can catch his Twitch username's Terry Wogan TV. We were going to go do the road trip with him. Due to issues and complications, we just couldn't get it working. So we decided that we should carry on, and we started planning. I want to say around mid-October, and we encountered issues from the start. As soon as we started planning it,
and kind of go on that front. Yeah. But yeah, that's fine. So as long as we're ready for the as long as we're ready for, so we can just, when we speak to him, we can kind of iron out a few details. It's literally going to be us 4, Will car, 200 miles. Do we start from Scotland or do we start from London?
It's a slow car. If we start from London, by the time we get up to Scotland, it'll be the end of the event. So maybe just start,
True. Maybe start in
Edinburgh. It's funny, we had a backup plan to go around Dover and just go from Dover to Calais over to France and do the event sort of around Europe instead of in the UK, because we thought that going around Scotland might have connectivity issues with the mountains and whatnot. But we wanted to raise as much awareness and money for Movember and really get the message out there. So we wanted a sponsor to work with and help fund the event. We wanted to donate to the charity. We didn't want to have to put all of our money into the event itself and then not be able to support the cause. We actually heard back from a sponsor within 2 days of sending an email, which was incredible for us. We were at an all-time high. We were so happy. But that unfortunately fell through and didn't go to plan, and obviously we were quite down about that. But then suddenly we had a phone call and it kicked everything into hyperdrive.
I think the thing that kind of kept us going was people were generally interested in the event. We had a lot of faith in it. We kind of started off, it may or may not work, and then it kind of started to fall into place. So when the first contact fell through, and then the second kind of contact didn't quite work out, we started to lose faith. I counted up we sent about 170 emails from the MAViSMITH email, which doesn't include Twitter DMs, Instagram DMs, my personal email, and just kind of conversations here, there, and that does not include them. And it was getting incredibly frustrating because we had sent off all these emails and we're getting back, no, you're too small, we can't favour Movember over someone else. It's just not something we can do right now. We were getting all these back. It was getting incredibly frustrating. However, we were able to link up with someone from Insomnia. So Insomnia is a gaming convention over here for their 64th convention. And we were absolutely over the moon when they said, come down, have a display panel down here, promote the event. So I remember getting that, and it was just like, I rushed home to kind of, start planning. Didn't even have the car at this point.
Wait, what? So right? Okay, I'm confused. So you buy it and then donate it to us. Was it like a charitable donation? Right. Okay. Yeah. If that's easier for you, yeah. If that's easier for you, beginning of April. Yeah, beginning of April works. We'd like to pick up in a couple. In as soon as you can pick it up. As soon as you can pick it up. As soon as you pick it up, we'll kind of be ready to go. But you're an absolute star. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, you're incredible. Yeah, we were starting to panic. We've got what, two weeks until the event? 2 weeks. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, so just let me know when you send it over, and all right. Oh God, you're a star. All right, cheers. Thank you. All right, bye.
Yeah.
We got it.
Yeah.
We got it.
Yeah,
we
man.
got it.
So we were actually incredibly lucky. Matt's uncle, who's the managing director of Ricata, purchased the vehicle and donated it to us. We then actually got into the final stages of getting a huge sponsor and working with them for the event. Unfortunately, that fell through, but the guy that helped us put that in motion was one of the nicest guys we've ever worked with, which was weird in the industry, because he actually cared about our content and appreciated the work we were putting in. Whilst that was really frustrating for us, we did make a friend in the industry, and he did put us in contact with our new sponsor and the people that finally allowed us to get the streaming equipment and everything we needed to really kick this event off to a good start. And with that, it was time to go and get the car.
Where are we going, Matt?
Are you talking to me? Was that what you just said?
He's done it like 4 times.
Why don't you tell me? I didn't. We go and get the car. We go and get the car. It started off as a joke. Has now become reality. Don't let your memes be dreams. Murmur.
Oh, another pub.
Come on in, the water's just bad.
Right, what have you got on? That's already low. Let me put my belt on.
Whoop!
Alright. Explain what's happened, Matt. If you can concentrate on that as well.
Brakes.
I think it's left, isn't it?
It's right.
You sure?
Yeah. Oh, it's got power. It's got power. Sir, this bad boy running to.
No, when you whack it, meter wet.
People are so confused. Oh, the brakes are.
Alright. Should we avoid A roads?
We're off. I don't know really where I'm going, so you have to Waze it for me.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
you're gonna have to Waze it.
Alright, I can't record at the same time.
So we eventually got the car back. It hasn't been driven in about 3 years. So we got it back. The brakes weren't working. They worked to some extent, but the definition of working, it didn't quite fit that. It was also one point where I put my foot down the accelerator to kind of see how far the pedal went down. Didn't come back up with my foot, so we were flat out, you know, at that point. It was fun. It was an experience, because one of the interesting things is not many people have driven a Reliant Robin. Not many people have even seen one in real life. So it's very interesting to see that, and it was hilarious driving it back. And we finally realised there's a few more issues we hadn't accounted for. Loudness in the car being one of them, because it is just a nice looking motorbike with an extra wheel.
So we had our first journey in the car, which was harrowing, but it was a very interesting journey, and it was time to reach out to a personal friend of mine that I went to school with, known him for years. He runs a company called X1 Automotive, does work on cars such as vehicle wrapping, and it's time to get the car in the shop.
There's one of the victims. That's the Robert Reliant going to be soon. That's what we're looking for. That's what could happen.
With Indeed. Experience Indeed for yourself today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your...
I think we're okay.
I think I'm actually good.
Yeah, it's just in case, isn't it?
If not, we're getting straight into it. £1,000
We're good.
I'm good, Jack. I'm good.
He just wanted to slam the brakes on to see what happened.
Yeah, well, funny enough.
Right.
I just slapped my head on the too tough again.
Alright. Alright.
Put the brake on.
Like a glove.
Didn't get that far.
Got that anti-rust.
Yeah, how much glass is this? Already?
Get like a hose for the battery.
Yeah, maybe take that out. It's actually crazy how we actually have the right order.
Pretty quick, right?
So the guys approached me with this idea to modify the design of a Reliant Robin. Sounded like a piece of cake, and didn't realise in the next couple of days I'll be ripping the whole thing apart, pulling the doors off, taking the brakes off, and spray painting it. So it's about 11:30 now, on a, what is it, Wednesday? I don't know, I've lost track, been spending every day on this thing. Yeah, it's been pretty involved. I had to build a moustache out of, well, I thought we'd use MDF until the magical B&Q Oracle we found told us to use plywood instead, because otherwise it would shrink. Didn't think of that, so we're glad we met him. And yeah, the whole thing's come together really nicely, to be fair. It is ridiculous, but I'm happy to be a part of it all. And I'm just hoping it turns some heads and does the job it needs to do, which is grab attention.
So the car's ready. Now, obviously it looks incredible. Hats off obviously to James, who orchestrated all of it. It's funny how things have started going wrong with it. So we had issues with the paint, with the bodywork, we had issues with the moustache, we then had issues with delivery, then had issues with the brakes. But things just started going wrong, and it just kind of showed the kind of ingenuity that James had and people he knew that kind of came together and actually built the entire thing. And as you can see, still only got 3 wheels.
So throughout this entire process, I was calling Matt every day with a new problem that we found out about. From the brakes not arriving, from the brakes not fitting, from needing new parts for new brakes, it just got out of hand. We only got the car 2 weeks ago, and in that time we've painted it, we've pretty much we have rebuilt the brakes, everything has been stripped out, and we're so lucky to have people like James and his friend Nathan who came down and helped us out massively. the thing that we want to get across is people seem to think that we have our stuff together and that everything's arranged and everything behind closed doors, everything's hunky-dory. Couldn't be further from the truth. We literally got we had an hour left of our deadline from Insomnia to get the car, and we literally bought it an hour before the deadline was over. It's been mad.
I am one of the 4 members going on the road trip in a Reliant Robin in Scotland. When I was first approached with the idea, I thought it was ridiculous because I thought there's no way that car is going to make it 5 feet, let alone around Scotland. Still don't think it will, but we'll see. We've got a week to do it, so we'll see how it goes.
I'm the final member of the Reliant Robin expedition to Scotland. When I was first approached with the idea, I thought, well, I've not been to hospital in a while, so I guess that's going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm still pretty convinced that this is going to end horrendously for all involved, but yeah, at least we'll be raising some money for charity, so looking forward to that.
Car now show ready. We are going to be heading down to Insomnia 64. It's going to be interesting for us because it's our first kind of business for MAViSMITH in terms of kind of meeting people and building relationships. It's going to be interesting for us. We get to promote the event, raise more awareness for the charity, so all round it's just going to be incredibly exciting for us. Now, the event started off as a joke, as I said, the event started off as a joke, and it kind of just started to fall into place, and it was incredibly, it was incredible seeing that, seeing it kind of come together, and it just shows that like the amount of no's we got 2 or 3 yeses. And it just kind of flows well, and it just shows that like someone saying no is not the final thing. It just shows that you need more time, more work, and it's just, you know, it's impressive how much we've done.
Honestly, I'm quite impressed by how hard we've worked over these past few months. Being able to get this event off the ground by sending all the emails, all the phone calls, the meetings, and doing all that whilst having full-time jobs, keeping up with our schedule for streams and podcasts and weekly videos such as Be of MAViSMITH, and on top of that releasing such a VFX heavy driven short movie such as Meme Runner, which we've worked really hard on. It's been something really special, and on the 13th of May the hard work pays off when the event gets on the road, and we just can't wait for that.